2020, August 30th, 14:48 p.m. Now, there's a little bit of odd mathematics in this situation, partially because the odd mathematics are the Narmer monolith applies to it's a kind of like a double application on the Capitoline Hill. It applies in one place on one set of buildings and some of those same buildings as anchors, and applies to others. So there's actually two sequences of Narmer monolithic maps, one on top of not on top of each other, but slightly askewed from each other with an anchor. That anchor being the Temple of Juno. Period. Now the Temple of Juno is the farthest north on the Capitoline Hill. Then there's several buildings, and then there's a divot, and that divot has a specific name, but I'm not remembering what it is right now. Period. And then you have several buildings off to the side. Now, this is, in a way, the basic configuration of Miramont Castle. You have his bedroom, and in front of his bedroom is a closed-in, a glassed-in porch. Period. And then you have the open area that had a staircase behind it and a staircase in front of it. The grand staircase is in front of it. The odd thing is that the grand staircase in front of it went from the third floor to the second floor, not from the second floor to the first floor. The staircase that was from the second floor to the first floor is a radically smaller but still ornate staircase, but it is tiny in base. It's only 3 feet wide as opposed to 6 or 7, 8 feet wide. It is a straight shot up. Now the orientation of it is incredible. In fact, you can say that the orientation of the first floor to the second floor is much more pretty, much more artistically endowed, and there's all kinds of ornate sculpturing, wall relief decorating from the first to the second floor, but it's a tiny staircase. From the second to the third floor, you don't have as many ornate wall reliefs, but you do have lots of artwork, and the windows are specifically cut and carved, and they're different shapes, and it's the lamps are ornate, and the railings are ornate, and the several people can go up the staircase at the same time, side by side. On the first to second floor, one Victorian ball gown can go up the stairs, can go up at a time. It's measured to be that of the width of a Victorian ball gown. Period. Now, as it applies to the Capitoline Hill, the second to third staircase. That's where the staircase is and has been for a long time, and such in the Roman Empire. That's where the staircase is. I'm guessing there's another staircase approximately where the Miramont Castle staircase is on the Capitoline Hill. There's another staircase that takes you from a lower level down to the ground level, because the Temple of Saturn and the Temple of Concord and a couple of other temples, especially with the stuff behind, it's kind of a three step from the base of the Capitoline of the Forum up. There's a staircase on one side, I think, if I remember correctly, and then on the north side of the Temple of Concord and what's behind it, there's the bigger, heavier grand staircase that goes up to the divot between the Temple of Juno and the temple complex of Jupiter and Fortuna and a couple of other structures up there, period. In Miramont Castle, things become a little bit funky, period, because it's kind of obvious what it's designed to look like, to be like, to reflect, but at the same time, it's odd because Miramont Castle was semi-designed to reflect King Solomon's temple, because the entryway, the Temple of Concord, for lack of a better description, of Miramont Castle, the entranceway, the entrance room, can be defined as Freemasonic in EA, period. The for lack of a better description, the chapel, the private chapel in the castle, which actually gives it the definition of a castle, that private chapel, comma, that would be the FC. That'd be in Khufu would be applied to the Queen's Chamber. Period. Now you go up the grand staircase, and because the Queen's Chamber, that area is located directly to the, as you're looking at the grand staircase, it's directly to the left. Period. Now go up the grand staircase, and again to the left is the porch of the Temple of Juno. Period. Although it's not designed exactly like that, it's pretty close to designed that way. Period. And if I remember correctly, in my youth, that the walls of his bedroom were removable, so that his bedroom looked out over that porch area, and he could see out from he can see the view, although not much of a view. There's a mountain only a couple hundred feet away, very, very large hill, very a couple hundred feet away. You could see out that and across to the mountain view that is through the wall of windows. Period. Now, once in my youth, they did have the walls taken out, but I was like somewhere between 8 and 11, 12. So, and I'm 19, and was born in 71. So, it gives a little bit of a parameter regarding the subject in these situations. So, I think that's true. I know that I remember clearly that his room, which is right behind that were removable, but I don't know, as a matter of absolute fact, if there was one room, if it was one big huge room, his bedroom and that porch area, if I remember 40 years ago, if I remember this correctly, that would make even more evidence that the Temple of Juno, the inside of Temple of Juno, and then the porch of the Temple of Juno, that being one room, one complex, that would be his bedroom. Of course, that makes things a little bit weird. Actually, a lot weird, because why would a priest live in the Temple of Juno and his mother live in the Temple of Jupiter? It actually would have been the opposite way, plus the fact that he was a priest, so he would have been more drawn to the smaller bedroom, and his mother, the queen, would have been would have been more in the grand bedroom. Period. So the Historical Society might have that flipped. His bedroom was in the Temple of Jupiter, and her bedroom was in the Temple of Juno. Period. Any way you look at it, this information makes information regarding the Miramont Castle infinitely more complicated, because not only is it an oddball castle, but period, it was designed to reflect